Your kung fu is weak. You cannot challenge me. On guard. What's happening, pimpin'? Welcome to On The Real. This is RawBlack bringing you a real raw review of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon 2, aka Sword of Destiny. Now, as a black man, I love Asian culture. I love manga, I love anime, I love their food, and I'm a huge fan of kung fu movies. So when I heard that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon was getting a sequel, I was going crazy. I mean, the first one was such a classic. It had Mr. Chow Yun-fat, aka Mr. Corruptor. Check out his work right here. It had Ji Zhang, Michelle Yeoh, excellent actors. This movie was so beautiful. And not only that, but the sequel is set to be directed by, let me check his name out because I don't want to mess it up, Yuan Wu Ping. I mean, his work list, if you know this guy, if you know anything about kung fu movies, is crazy. Just check this out. This is a real quick list of everything that he's done. And it's nothing. That's not even all of it. He is crazy. And what do we get? This fucking movie. This movie is set 18 years after the events of the original. It is based on the Iron Crane Pentology by author Wang Dulu, and it was written around the 1930s. Now, the story of this movie is all based on Shu Lien, Michelle Yeoh's character. She is coming to the funeral of Sir Tie. Sir Tie was in possession of the Green Sword of Destiny, which was Li Mubai's sword in the previous film. Now, this sets off a series of events that also introduces Meng Li, Donnie Yen's character, into the story. And this is where this movie takes a left turn. This story is downright stupid. I mean, they just take one plot point of the original to try and loosely tie this up. Now, I do understand that that's basically how the set of books that it's based on worked, but right off the gate, you feel a sense as if the story is just there so that we can have a sequel. And that's the big problem of this movie. A lot of it has been done just so we could have a sequel. All the talent, all the characters, be it the director, the fighting, the actors, everything seems cheapened by the fact that it's all based on a sequel. And that's exactly what sets this movie back. I mean, compare it to the first one. They both had similar budgets, $17 million for the first and about $20 million for the second one. The first one had beautiful scenery. We all remember the treetop fight when we're climbing up the trees. It had jungles, it had deserts, it had temples. Remember the temple fight at the very beginning, set completely at night. What does this movie have? A Mortal Kombat looking ass tower and a fake CGI city. I mean, the CGI in this movie just does sine waves. At the very highest, it's okay. At the lowest, it's horrible. And I just don't get it. What's the difference here? You technically had more money on the first one because it was 2000, and now we're in 2016 with inflation. You can't do the same thing? Now, didn't that look like some old bootleg Mortal Kombat footage? I mean, that's not even the worst of the CGI in this movie, and I swear to you. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is they tried too hard to adapt this movie to Western audiences. I mean, the main bad guy's name is Hades Dai. Everybody else in this movie has a proper Asian name, but they name their main bad guy Hades. And that's another problem. I mean, I have no issue with the fact that it's in English as opposed to subtitles this time. But you have to keep the themes. You have to keep the mythology going. Another problem is they introduced this sorceress / prophet out of nowhere. Nowhere else in this movie, in the books, or in the previous movie was sorcery even a thing. There are major spiritual undertones, like Buddhist teachings, like understanding, knowledge of self, introspection, meditation, all this stuff. And then out of nowhere, they just throw out some magic and some sorcery just for the story, I guess. And that's a major problem. The story in this movie is bonkers. They try to shoehorn this love story, and I absolutely did not buy it. I mean, compared to the first one where you had a retiring master trying to put away his warrior days because he's not about that life no more, and a warrior woman who was struggling because she had made a vow to a previous man who died on the field of battle. This one just does not seem to be up to par, and a lot of that might be the director change. I mean, Ang Lee is really about his poetry and about his development, but I just don't get it. This one fell flat for me. So now comes the rating. This movie gets a pimp hand. A minor pimp hand, but a pimp hand. Reason being is there is good fight choreography. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Yuan Wu Ping. You know that he's going to do the martial arts. The martial arts look fantastic. But the rest of the movie really lets it down. The crappy story, the crappy CGI. I mean, you just don't buy it. And I felt like it was really, really, really a disservice to the first movie. And not only that is you have to evaluate it within the context of it being a sequel to such a classic film. And all in all, it's a big disappointment. I would say, of course, it's on Netflix, so if you're trying to Netflix and chill, maybe watch the movie, but otherwise, nah. So what about you, Pimpin'? What you thinking? Hit all them buttons down below and let me know. This has been a Real Raw review, RawBlack, and I'm out.